StaR's Cartel channel. If you don't know, I'm Star. The message I heard is that could possibly save your life. The scripture comes from Zechariah 2 and 8. For thus said Yahweh of hosts, he has sent me after glory to the nations who are spoiling you. For he is coming against you and is coming against the people of his eye. For behold, I am waving my hand against them, and they have been a spoil to their servants. And you have known that Yahweh of hosts has sent me. Sing and rejoice, O daughter Zion, for behold, I am coming and have dwelt in your midst, a declaration of Yahweh. So here's the message for somebody. There's someone that is listening to the sound of my voice. Like, this is literally what God is telling me to say. There's someone at the sound of my voice, you feel as though you are under the wrath of God. You feel as though God is attacking you. You feel as though God has it out for you. God said the things that you are going through, there is something that you are going through right now, some kind of trial, some kind of tribulation, and you don't understand why you're having to go through that thing. God said that very thing that you're going through is going to save your life. You don't see what God see, regardless to what kind of attack is against your life right now. But I do feel like this is somebody, there is some kind of attack against you. And the attack that is coming against you, if whatever happened didn't happen, like you could never understand what could, like you don't understand the repercussions. You don't understand what could possibly happen if it didn't happen. And I'm being reminded of this story that I've heard. I'm pretty sure y'all have heard this story as well, where a speaker was talking about a man that no matter what would happen, he would say that God was doing his thing. He would just go with the flow of God. And at one point in time, I think something happened to one of his children. Like, his children, one of his sons hurt himself, and a friend or a neighbor was like, so do you believe this is God protecting you? And he said, I don't know, I guess we'll just see. And a little bit after that time period, there was a draft, but because his son was already hurt, he could not be drafted. And I'm even remembering about my situation, which is similar to this. Last year, at the end of last year, when I broke my left ankle, and I was like, what is going on? I feel like I'm not doing anything wrong. Is God mad at me? Why is God doing this to me? I got to learn how to walk all over again. The hospital, they didn't do nothing. Okay, long story short, they gave me one pain pill. I never saw a doctor, and I was very highly upset because I just felt as though they was just playing with me. Okay, all day I sat up there in pain, and they did nothing. But baby, when I say, they were like, your ankle is probably gonna heal itself, just go home, and if it doesn't come back. And I was like, all right, okay, all right, okay, baby. But it did. Not only did my left ankle heal itself while I had my little boot, but my right ankle now hits the floor. And I've talked to y'all about that. You know what I'm saying? I was just wearing some slides yesterday, and I was able to hear the little sound. When you wear slides and flip-flops, it's a sound that the shoe make when it hit the back of your foot when you walking. Baby, I hadn't heard that sound in years. Like, honestly, in years and years and years, because I've been walking on my tippy toes. Even when I wear slides or sandals, I was on my tippy toes. But at that moment in time, because my left foot was hurt, I had to use my right foot, and I couldn't just play around. I had to put my foot on the ground the whole way, and it healed both. They both healed at the same time. So I'm saying this to say, long story short, okay, um for somebody, it seems like something bad is going on in your life right now. There's something bad that's going on, and you feel like God is punishing you. You don't understand why God is doing this. You don't understand this, that, and the third. God said whatever this situation is, it is intended to help you. He is going to use it for your own good. Regardless to if It's going to open your eyes to some people around you. And for somebody that is a part of this, it's going to open your eyes to those around you. Like, it's a difference between when bad things happen to us is when we can really see the true nature of people around us, and we can really see how they really feel. We can really see, you know what I'm saying? Because only those that really truly care about you gonna be there for you when you know what I'm saying, when you have bad days. There are some people, they'll be there for you when you in your good, you know what I'm saying? When everything is doing wonderful, when everything is all sprinkles and sunshine and rainbows, you know what I'm saying, and glitter and all that. They in the midst, you know what I'm saying, they pull up. They pull up when it's bottles being popped. They pull up. But as soon as your heart broken, nowhere to be found. Soon as you going through it, nowhere to be found. Soon as you go through some kind of hardship, they nowhere to be found. God said this is for somebody. He intends for when you go through things, when you have this rough patch, when you go, whatever it is that you're going through, it is supposed to show you something. For somebody, it is intended to help you detour whatever calamity is going. There's a calamity around you, and God has created a detour for you. And in order for you to be able to avoid this calamity, this detour, and it's not a pretty one, you know what I'm saying? And I'm just thinking about how sometimes when they have road detours, it's a long way. Sometimes the detour road is worse than the road they fix it. You know, sometimes it's a bunch of traffic over there. You know, it's just so many things that could be, you know, big old potholes and all that. But God is saying, even though the detour is a little rough, it's much better for you to take that detour than for you to try to drive through the construction. Because, you know, if you try to drive through the area where they working at, you could really mess your car up. You could end up stuck in some cement, or you could end up in a position to where you didn't try to drive through there, and you know they didn't dug up all the cement and it ain't nothing but dirt and metal down. You didn't messed up your tires. And God said it's much better for you to take this detour. The detour looks scary. The detour look like it's gonna take you out. The detour may look like it is about to be like you in punishment. Like, I just feel like this is somebody you feel like God has defied you and you are just going through it and you're tired of going through it. God said go ahead and go through that detour and avoid the problems that are ahead of you. And that's the message. Like, for whoever this is for, God, and for somebody it's intended to save your life. Because if you keep going down the route that you're going, there's something that is plotted ahead. There is a plan ahead. And it could even be a situation where this is on down the line. This could be months ahead. This could be weeks ahead, days ahead. But God is saying there is something that is being it's in a mist. And you know, we are spiritual beings, and before things happen in the material, in the physical, they start to come forth in the spiritual. It's just like when somebody has a thought, and it's like somebody can have a thought that they gonna try to cause you some kind of pain. Somebody can have a thought that they gonna try to hurt you, or somebody could even have a thought that they gonna help you. Somebody could have a thought that they care about you. Regardless to what this thought is, it happens in the spiritual before it happens in the physical. And God is saying there is something going on in the spiritual that could cause some kind of demise for you. But it's not time. It's not your time. And you know, people can plot as much as they want to. They can plan as much as they want to. They can do whatever. And as somebody that sits here today, and several times I have testified about being poisoned, being shot at, being, you know what I'm saying, plotted on, being kidnaps. Okay, I've been through a lot. 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 And when it really come down to it, I still sit here today. I still stand 10 toes down because God said it's not my time. And for whoever this is for, God said it's not your time. It is not your time. He got some other things for you to do. He has a life for you to live. You have a journey, a path that you are still on. And God said it is not your time. And because God said it is not your time, He is going to plan this detour for you. Even though this detour, sometimes it look like it's to destroy you. Sometimes the detour look like it's not gonna work out. Sometimes the detour is something you don't want to do, and sometimes it's some way you don't want to be. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just thinking about just different circumstances and situations in my life, like when I had to, sit in a hospital for 2 months. It wasn't fun. You know what I'm saying? But in the midst of me being in that hospital, I had a breakthrough. In the midst of me being in that hospital, I became ordained to be a pastor. In the midst of me being in that hospital, God had me in a perfect position to where I couldn't do nothing else, and I had to sit there and I had to listen. Because on my day-to-day life before I was in that hospital, I was working, and taking care of my son all day. I didn't have time to do nothing. And I even noticed when God got through talking to me and just told me to go ahead and rest, that I was tired. I was exhausted, y'all. I was so tired. I didn't know what to do with myself, because all I did, I wake up at 6 in the morning, work out, and work at the same time, because I was a fitness influencer. And then I shower, start doing my makeup, recording while I'm doing my makeup, and then I have to plan the makeup to go with the outfits and figure out what kind of photo shoot. I had a full day, and in the middle of all of that, feeding my son breakfast, feeding him lunch. I was a stay-at-home mom simultaneously while doing all of this, posting on this account, that account, the third. Like, baby, I was so tired, I didn't know what to do with myself. And I just feel like for somebody, God said he wants you to take this detour. Okay, it is a detour. It is a detour. It looked like it's going to be terrible. It looked like it's not going to be fun. It's not looking like something you want to do, regardless of what kind of detour it is. But God said this detour is not intended to punish you, but it is intended to save you. And even when I think about everything I had going on before I was in the hospital, like there was so much stuff going, like it was so much drama amongst the makeup artists, so much drama amongst the models, and just the different groups that I found myself involved in, not only on social media but also in Houston. It was just so much going on. And God gave me a detour. It wasn't a fun detour. I didn't like it. I wasn't very happy about being in that hospital, nor was I happy about being in that nursing home. But you know what I'm saying? When I came up out of that, I felt, like relieved. And I just felt like for whoever this is for, your story does not end where the detour is. Whatever it is you have going on, you're going to be able to pick it up. It's not going to be a situation where everything is going to fall apart. It's not going to be a situation where you're going to miss out on nothing. Like if it's regardless to for somebody you are concerned about your spouse, if you have somebody and that person is your person, like that's your soulmate, that's your kingdom spouse, ain't nothing gonna be able to keep y'all from being together, period. It's not gonna be a situation where you gonna miss out on them. For somebody, they may end up in a detour with you, okay, regardless to what they mean, because the detour could be so many different things. It don't mean that you're going to be pulled away from everybody. You know what I'm saying? And for some of you, it could be, because it could be a detour like when God sent me to the desert. So it could be a situation where God sends you out of town somewhere. God sends you on a trip somewhere. Your person may be there with you. So I'm just saying this to say, for whoever this is for, God is sending you on some kind of detour. The detour that you're going on, it feels like punishment. It feels like the wrath of God. It's going to feel like something bad is happening. But God is saying that he doesn't want you to look at it from that point of view and to have the perspective. God is saying from your perspective, it looks like something is bad is happening, but it looks that way from your perspective because you don't see the alternative. You don't see what the alternative is. You don't know what is meant to happen on down the line if you don't take the detour. If you don't take the detour, you don't understand what's going to happen. And if you were to know what would happen if you didn't take the detour, you would definitely be like, I'll go ahead and take the detour. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just being reminded of when I was what's that movie, Halls, where he was standing in front of the judge and the judge gave him the choice of either going to the camp where they gotta dig holes all day or going to juvie, and he said, you know what, I'll go ahead and go to the Cartel. Now the Cartel was miserable, but he was like, you know what, I'd rather be there. Okay. And I just feel like for whoever this is for, that's the kind of vibe. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to laugh, but I'm just being real. I just feel like it's that kind of vibe. It's like it's not very many options. You know what I'm saying? And it's not a situation where it's gonna be forever, and it's not a situation where it's gonna be just. But I like for somebody very strongly. This is gonna save your life, and you don't know what's coming against you. You don't know who coming against you. You don't know what all is going on, and it's spiritual right now. That's being plotted against you in the spiritual right now. But God said that this is for the best, because He has other things for you to do. There are other things that He has for you to do. Anyways, that's the message. It's not intended for you to for it to be over for you here. And at the end of this detour, you are going to find out somehow, some way, what else could have possibly happened. You're going to find out. And regardless to if you find out because somebody tell you, regardless to if it falls upon somebody else's head, because we already know when somebody is standing around digging a pit for you, and they dig in that pit, and they expecting that you gonna fall in that pit, they gonna fall in it, not you. They'll fall in it, not you. God says somebody, you gonna go on your little detour, and when you come back from your detour, you gonna find that the very person that was trying to dig a pit for you then fell in the very pit that they was digging for you. But God said you gonna find out what could have happened. But understand that this detour for somebody, it is truly intended to save your life. For somebody, it is just a situation where he just wants you. He prefers you to, I just feel like it's a fall regardless. I'm like if you were on a raft going down a river, and there's a big old, what is it called, waterfall coming up or whatever, you gotta fall regardless. You gonna go over regardless. Ain't nowhere to go. But it's much better to fall in an area where ain't nothing but water than to fall in an area where it's water and sharp pointing rocks at the bottom. God said He preferred for you to fall where the water is really, you go down and then you just and get back up to the top, versus you hit them rocks over there. Anyways, that's the message. That's the message, y'all. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. I love you guys to bits and pieces, and I'll see you later.